All right, this is a tutorial in order to format your research paper. And so you've already been introduced to the requirements for your research paper and the formatting. That could be found on your Canvas page, whichever teacher you have, they have it up there under the research paper requirements. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that so you can take a look. We've already discussed for your research paper, you need to have 1-inch margins, Times New Roman font, 12-point font. It needs to be double spaced. There should not have a space added in between each paragraph. Your last name and page number is included on the top right of each page, and the heading at the top left of your first page for research paper only. And so that's what I'm going to be showing you to do. There'll be a separate tutorial for the works cited page and how to access those different MLA citations. And that'll be forthcoming. So make sure you have this research paper requirements in front of you. That way you can also take a look. I'm going to go ahead and open up Word. This is just a quick example of what an actual paper is going to look like. You see the page number in that top right corner. This is your heading, student sample. You'd have your first and last name. You'll have your teacher name. You'll have your English 2, and then you'll have your period. And then the due date is the date that you'll place on your paper. And then once you're done with that, you won't add any extra lines. You'll just go to the next line. You'll center your title, and then you'll begin writing your paper. As you can see, each paragraph is beginning with an indent. And as you go through, even as you conclude, you don't see any extra space in between those paragraphs. Go to the next line, and then you indent and begin your second paragraph, and then move forward. And as you can see, the 1-inch margins, 12-point font, Times New Roman up here. And so what I'm going to show you is how to set all that up. I'm going to briefly show you what that works cited page looks like, and we'll talk more about that in the next tutorial. So to begin, you'll start a new document. I'm just going to do a blank document here, and that's normally what many of you will start with. So right from the top, go ahead and change that font. So Times New Roman, type it in. If you don't want to type it in, you could always hit the scroll down button and just find the appropriate font. So Times New Roman, change it to 12. And that's all you'll need to do for that. Now here's the spacing. A lot of students have issues with the spacing, so I want to make sure that you really pay attention to this. So you'll focus on this paragraph section. There's going to be a small little arrow right here, and hopefully you can kind of see where my cursor is. It'll say paragraph settings. If you hover over it, you'll click on that. And this is where you'll make the changes. So right here under spacing, notice how it says after, and that's the spacing after each paragraph. You want to change that to 0. And I just scrolled down, but you could also type in 0 on there. But notice how it's 0 now. And then here where it says line spacing multiple, you want to change that to double. And you want to do that before you type in anything. If you type in something, then it is going to have some formatting off. So make sure that you start that right from the beginning. So we've set our Times New Roman, we've set our font, and we've set our double space. Go ahead and double check and make sure your margins are correct. And you'll do that under the layout section, layout tab. And margins are in that, it's the first one on the far left. Look at the margins, and it should already be set to 1 inch. Just make sure, double check. It's usually the custom setting on there. Click it, and then you're set for your margins. So we've done the margins. We have the correct font size. We've done our double spacing, and we've ensured that there won't be any space in between body paragraphs. Now we're going to put your page numbers in the top right corner of every page. And there's a very easy way to do this where you won't do it for every single page. You'll just set it in the formatting above. So what you'll do is you'll click on Insert. And then on that insert, you'll go ahead and find right here in the middle where it says Header and Footer, Page Number. And so once you click on that page number, you'll hit Top of Page. And then you'll do page number 3 because that one's in the top right corner. So you'll just click on it. It'll begin, it'll already have a page number. All you'll have to do, so don't click on anything. All you need to do is write in your last name. Your last name and a space in between. So notice how it has my last name and I put a space in there. You'll put your last name. Don't put mine. Put your last name. So your last name, page number, and then close that header button. And so you'll see it up there. And so I don't have a second page on here, but I'm going to insert a page break so you could see where it'll show it. So we have page 2 right here. So as you type, it will continue doing those page numbers for you. Even when you insert your works cited page, it'll be in there as well. So that will already be set up for you. So we've done our 1-inch margins. We've done our font. We've done our double space. We ensured that there won't be any space in between paragraphs. And then we've added our last name and page number at the top right of every page. And then also, well, now we're going to do your heading at the top left of your first page of your research paper only. So on this side only, this page, your first page, you will have a heading. And the way the heading will go is you'll have your first name and last name. And I'm going to write first name, last name in general, because I know some of you will end up writing your teacher's name. First name, space, last name. So your first name, your last name. Hit enter. Notice how it's already doing the double space here. Once you do that, then you're going to put your teacher's name. So for my class, you'll put Miss Torres. Then for everyone else's, just put your respective teacher's name in there. Once you're done that, hit enter. You're going to put English 2, so it's the course, comma, and then period, and tell me what period you're in. So period, if you're in period 1, 2, or 3, you'll just make that change. 2, 3, etc. So I'm going to put 1. And then for the date, you're going to put the day that this paper is due, which is the 23rd of May, 2018. And then once you're done with that, hit enter, and you'll be ready to begin. Once you begin, you'll center, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of show you right there. You'll center right here, and you'll just do the title. So you need a title name. So whatever you are titling your paper, hit enter, and then left align. From here, you'll be able to begin writing your research paper. And that research paper will look similar, if not exactly like this one. So as you can see, we have the student name, or where your name will be. You'll have your teacher name. You'll have the course and your period, and then the due date. And then as you can see, we have our page number in that top right corner. You'll have your last name, and the page number will be indicated. As you can see, it does change as you go further. And then you'll have your title centered. And there's no extra spaces in between your title and the first body paragraph. Make sure that yours looks like the same as that. You have the same spacing. You have these different elements. Make sure, ask yourself those questions. Does my paper have the same spacing as the sample one? Do I only have one space in between each body paragraphs? Do my margins look similar? Ask yourself those questions before submitting your paper, because you don't want to lose some of those easier points that you can retain. And then now that we're done with the formatting, we're going to, or what you can check is the works cited tutorial, which will also be on Canvas. And as always, if you have any questions, make sure you contact your teacher, either through email, in class, or during tutorials.